Hey, there's something you're trusting God for, just like me. There's something you're believing God for, just like me. There's something you're exercising your faith towards, and you're praying that it's going to manifest. You're praying that it's going to come to pass. Well, there's a question that many Christians have who are trusting God for something that they're always afraid to ask. And I'm going to answer that question here in this video. So make sure you stay tuned in because it's going to bless you. Walk with me. Listen, I'm Billy Miller, the motivational minister. And one of the reasons they call me the motivational minister is because I help people to improve their lives by teaching them life skills from the Bible. And today I'm going to be teaching you this principle, the faith question. And that is, how do you know if you're really in faith? Listen, you don't want to be stepping out in faith and then realize that you're really not in faith. You just thought you were in faith, or maybe you were hyped up. Maybe you were caught up in your emotions. You know, if God told, for example, if God told you to quit your job and you go and quit your job, I've been there. That's happened to me. And I didn't have another job set in place. And you step out there in them deep waters and you begin to wonder. You begin to say, oh, wow, I think I heard from God. I hope I heard from God. God, that was you, right? That's a question we always have, but everyone's afraid to ask. And you ask it within yourself, but nobody says that out loud. You know, there's you know the story about Jesus. Jesus, when he was walking on the water. Peter saw Jesus walking on the water, and he asked Jesus, he said, if it's you, bid me to come. And Jesus said, come, which is evidence that one word from God can change your life. Jesus only said one word to Peter that changed his life. Come, C-O-M-E. And Peter acted on the word. That's called faith. That's one of the definitions of faith, is acting on the word. Peter acted on that word, and guess what? He stepped out into the water and he started walking. He started doing a miracle. He was doing what people said couldn't be done. Well, along the way, when he was getting close to Jesus, the storm grew worse, because they was already in a storm, but the storm grew worse, and he got sidetracked. He got distracted, and he started looking at the storm, and he began to sink. And it said he yelled out, Jesus, save me. He took his eyes and put it back on the Lord, and he said, Jesus, save me. And the Lord saved him. And they walked back to the boat. But anyway, you know that story. But Jesus, this is what Jesus said to him. He says, why did you doubt? Just think about that. He says, why did you doubt? Now, when Peter stepped out in the water, I'm pretty sure he thought he was in faith, which he was, but he was operating in low faith. I don't think he thought he was going to doubt. Listen, if you're stepping out in the water, in the middle of the water during the storm is the last place you want to be if you're not sure if you're in faith. Are you following what I'm saying? So what's a barometer that we can use? What's a scale? How can we determine, hey, if I'm in faith or not? I think I'm in faith. I know I'm saying the confessions. I know I'm saying out loud, verbally, I trust God, and I believe I do, but do I really? Is there a way I can measure this? Is there a way I can be certain? I'm about to answer that question for you, if you want to know the answer to that question. Listen, if you want to know the answer to that question, write yes in the comment section. Just write yes. Let me know, hey, I want to know. I want to be, hey, you've been stepping out in faith, you've been trusting God. How do I know for certain that I'm trusting God and I'm not just out here? Here's the answer. You know, I told you that faith, one of the definitions to the word faith is acting on the word, right? Another definition of faith, which is one of my favorites, is faith is the reality of seeing yourself doing it. I'm going to say it again. Faith is the reality of seeing yourself doing it. So here's the answer to the question that you're always afraid to ask. How do I know if I'm in faith? If you can see yourself doing it. Think about it. If you can see yourself doing it, you got sickness in your body. Maybe you had a bad report. Maybe you have some sort of illness and you're trusting God for healing. Can you create an image on the inside of your imagination and the inside of your mind of you being healed completely? See, like I said, some things sound good, but can you really see it? Can you see it on the canvas of your imagination? Maybe you're in debt and you're trusting God with your finances, and you've been managing your money, you've been giving, you've been blessing others, you've been cutting back on your spending. You're doing all of these things, but can you form a picture? Can you paint a picture in your head of what your life would look like being debt-free? Maybe you're trusting God for a home. Let me ask you a question. If you was buying a house, can you trust God to get that house debt-free? And some of you probably a resounding yes going around. Oh, yeah, sure, yes, yeah, I trust God. God can do it all. Yeah, but can you really see that in your head? If you see, this is not the time to exempt yourself. This is the time to examine yourself. Because you got to be real with yourself. You can't play around with this. You may say, well, like, you know what? I believe that I could pay it, debt free, but I don't believe I have the money to pay it off right away debt free. You have to be real with yourself. I'm not saying I can't never pay it off, but right now, do I think God gonna give me the money and work something out where I have the money to go pay for it next week? I can't really see that. And listen, if you can't see that, that doesn't make you a bad Christian. That doesn't make you a weak Christian. That just means you haven't exercised your faith to that level yet, and that's okay. Because whatever level you're at, that's what you're going to exercise. And maybe you exercise your faith, and guess what? Maybe you buy the house, maybe you pay the house off in 5 years. But faith is the reality of seeing yourself doing it. So here's another question you should be asking yourself. Oh, Billy, what do I do if I can't see it? Okay, I get what you're saying. This is how I know I'm in faith. If I can see myself doing it, if I can picture a mental picture, an image in my imagination, myself doing it. But if I can't see myself doing it, what do I do? That's a good question. You're going to ponder. As a matter of fact, let me show you the scripture. And I'm reading, it's a scripture. You can find it in the Bible, but I got my book right here. So I'm going to pull it out of my book, Life and Righteousness, The Word is Your Life. I got a chapter in here. I actually got a chapter on faith in here, but I'm going to go to the meditation step because of this scripture. It's a popular scripture. You've heard it before. I'm going to read it. And you just listen. All right. So Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, it says, this book of the law, talking about the Bible, shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do all according that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. So there's a progression in this scripture. It says the Bible shall not depart from your mouth. So listen, you're going to be confessing the word. You're going to be speaking the word, right? It says, but you shall meditate in it day and night. Meditate. That word meditate means to as a matter of fact, let me put it up right here. I'm in my car, so I can't put it on the screen like I normally do. But listen, you can write down what I'm saying. The word meditate means to focus on the word as to understand it deeply. It also means to roll and turn the word in the mind, to ponder, to study, to visualize, to imagine. So listen, if you can't see yourself doing it, you're quite not in faith yet. So what do? You get into that word and you study it, you meditate in it, you confess it, you act on it, you continue to ponder and think about it until you can form a mental image in your head and say, wait a minute, I can do this. That's what happened with the 12 spies that God sent over to spy out the promised land. Remember that story? 12 spies went over there to spy on the land, and they saw great things. They saw They saw the land that's flowing with milk and honey. The land is exactly what God promised. But when they came back, when the 12 spies came back, 10 of them said, oh no, man, there's giants over there. They saw giants and they said, oh man, we can't take this land. They couldn't see it. Oh man, we can't take this land. Oh no, we just like grasshoppers. They gonna kill us. But Joshua and Caleb, they saw something different. They was able to form a mental image of themselves going over there and taking over the land. And guess what? They said, no, we can do this. We can do this. You can do it too. If you just get your mind right, you can do it too. If you focus on the word as to understand it deeply, you can do it too. If you roll and turn the word in your mind until you can see it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Because if you can't see it, you can't be it. If you can't see it, you won't seize it. If you can't visualize it, you won't materialize it. If you can't perceive it, you won't achieve it. If your mind can't see that far, your feet sure won't take you there. So that's your answer. How do I know if I'm in faith? If I can see myself doing it. And if you can't see yourself doing it, meditate, study on the word, ponder on the word until you do. Listen, I want to go deeper. And listen, we can go deeper. I want you to check out this video right here. Just click right there. And I'll see you in that next video. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And always remember that the word is your life.